Do you love PvP in The Division, Ghost Recon and Rogue Company? Then you definitely want to see what this free-to-play game, widdzExpert, is all about. Wait, he one-shots to body! What? What the fuck?
Our mission is compromised. Set up your defense and wipe them out.
How are we supposed to get there? How many?
The seed detonates in 30 seconds.
You know me. It's me.
Uh-oh. Tracking assistance will be over. Hurry up.
So looks pretty good, right? And it actually is for a third-person shooter. If you know me, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of third-person shooters, but this game does actually do a lot of stuff right and a bit unique compared to other shooter games on the market. And I can definitely see that third-person shooter enjoyers will love this game. And personally, I would be loving it if it had a dedicated first-person mode. But before we go more deep into the video, what is widdzExpert, you might ask? So it's a free-to-play, plant-the-bomb, competitive, third-person shooter type of game. So think games like Counter-Strike and Valorant, and it meets Ghost Recon / The Division PvP for that third-person perspective. Or if I could name a single game myself, it would be Rogue Company, even though I never played that game myself. They do seem extremely similar. The game also do have a team deathmatch mode in case you don't like the bomb defuse mode, even though I think if you don't like that type of mode, the game might not be for you. Worth to note though is that the bomb defuse mode have a 3v3 and 5v5 queue. So what makes widdzExpert great? The game offers some pretty interesting and well-made maps that also have some dynamics to it. So depending on round, the map will change drastically, so your tactics have to change a lot. Also, during the rounds, you have some destruction that you can do as well. It's not like Battlefield level, these are way more set in stone, but I think that is still a really cool feature, especially with the map changing. Then to keep the pace a bit faster, they do have zone shrinking, which works very similar to how it works in most battle royale games, so pretty interesting. The zone shrinking is also a thing in TDM, where it is more aggressive and forces you to move in the map. I actually think it does work pretty damn nice when it comes to TDM. We talk a bit about gunplay, it actually feels pretty damn good for a third-person shooter. Pretty hefty recoil on most weapons by today's standard actually. Sniper rifles are really crazy, one-shotting to the chest unless they have extra armor, but there is also a AWP which costs a lot though, that would one-shot anything to the body. They did, however, increase the armor from 50 standard to 100 as a standard, and max would be 150. So by default then, I think you would survive the M24, which is the standard like bolt action sniper. I'm actually not 100% sure about that though. But snipers felt extremely powerful, but that's the kind of problem with a game like this. If you have a third-person shooter with fast time to kill, if the sniper isn't one-shotting to upper chest or chest, and only by headshots, then there's no really reason to use it at all, since assault rifles will just take out you so fast, and they are on top of that way more forgiving, and they work on like most ranges. Which comes to one of the problem I think that this game have. and that is the time to kill is way too fast. I do understand though that a lot of people do like fast time to kill, even in their third-person shooters, but personally, I hate it. I think third-person shooters need to have slow time to kill, like the Division 1 PvP had, or H1Z1, which was more aim-dependent, I guess. In my opinion, those are like the two only third-person shooter games that I think PvP actually worked pretty well for. But that's just my opinion though. In Wild Expert, you can choose if you want to shoot your gun in first person or third person. Personally, I am not a fan when you can choose. I think only one of them should be available. Like shooting in third person makes the recoil appeal less, so it's easier to just control your recoil compared to first person. And usually games like this do compensate to make third person shooting have more bloom, while first person view have none. But I think this game actually do have bloom even in first person, even though it is less. Still though, I think the game should just choose one and go with that. Let's talk about something else that is really important in terms of gameplay, and that is movement. The movement in this game doesn't feel that great for a few reasons. You're stuck to a really close field of view, which as a PC player, it feels really awkward. I haven't played a first-person shooter game like this zoomed in, forced in a long time. And I assume it's not as bad for you guys that are more used to console, because a lot of console game doesn't come with field of view slider. At least they didn't. Maybe that changed now though. But overall, it really needs a field of view slider because the character is so close to the screen. On top of that though, there's no sprint in this game. So you have field of view super close in, you have no sprint button. So overall, it feels like you walk or run really slow, even though that's not the case. So no sprint button, so in that sense, quite similar to Counter-Strike, right? So they have a walk button instead, which I did want to rebind to shift, so it would be like CS. But I couldn't do that without screwing up all the other binds that the button shift was tied to. So that was really annoying. They do have shoulder swap in this game, but it is tied to leaning. So leaning left and right will change that. So with Q and E on a PC or keyboard. So when you shoulder swap as well, you're basically just walking super slow. So this makes left side peaks even worse than normally. So in most games, the way the gun is placed will give you advantage if you peek from the right side, right? And of course that's the case here, and especially in third-person shooter. So peeking from left when you have to go super slow like that is just, yeah, really bad. So they definitely need to add a proper shoulder swap because this was just horrible. Something else that's unique for this game is that you can use your pistol when you're knocked down, which I'm actually not sure if I like or not. I guess kinda cool, but also it can be really frustrating. Like a lot of people do kinda abuse this and they pick like the shotgun pistol. So if they get knocked and then if you kill them close or knock them close, they will just knock you instantly and super easy with the shotgun pistol. So that can be really frustrating to get knocked from. But yeah, I think eventually the more you're playing it used to, you can easily counter that. So that's quite a lot of bad, I guess, but let's talk about something that I did find pretty good, and that are the characters and the talent system. So similar to games like Overwatch and Valorant, they have heroes with unique talents. A lot of them are being pretty cool and enjoyable to play. On top of that, they do also have generic talents. Think more like passive talents like in Division 1, but they are not doing as much and just like a bit more minor. So you have 5 total currency, and you can choose whatever talent you want or can afford. So that's a pretty cool system, and some of the talents are pretty good, but a lot of them feels pretty useless. I would love to see them to add more stuff into this, more similar to Division 1, right? Where they would impact the game even more. So it's just not all about shooting and run and gun, right? So there's more to it. Because I do love that stuff, right? From Division 1. But definitely I see a lot of potential there. In terms of bugs and glitches, I didn't actually have any issues at all. I maybe played like 6-7 hours, and I played the beta before that. So maybe I have like 10 hours played in total. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. It actually ran extremely well for me now, but I do have a good PC. I got a 4080 GPU and a 5800 3XD CPU, right? So actually now when I think about it, I did have a little bit of stuttering, but I think that got fixed by just restarting the game. But yeah, I did actually have some hiccups, but that did get fixed later, so yeah. But to wrap up the video though, do I recommend the game? I think if you like third-person shooter games, you have to give this game a try, especially since it is free to play. So there's nothing for you to lose except for your time. For everyone else, if you do like bomb and defuse type of games that are competitive, then I think it's worth a try as well. If you are like me though, and you don't like third-person shooter games where you do sit behind cover and abuse visuals with pretty fast time to kill, then this game is probably not for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video though, and let me know in the comment section below what you think about this game, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video.